G'day guys, we're back to Before the Blow Up. Me and Isaac finally back together after the long overseas trip that you had, brother. Tell us what it went down.
Well, first, I feel like we've been pretty inconsistent, but it's I mean, we can't do anything else about it. It's not like we've just got stuff going on. The blow up's happening
Exactly.
before our eyes. So I feel like that's yeah, I know that's good. But yeah, my trip was sick. Went to LA for a week, and then Indiana for a week, and then Mexico for a week, which is just all three of those was like cool in their different ways. LA and Mexico were. LA was a bit like LA and Indiana were a bit more holiday-y, and Mexico was the brunt of the work, you know.
So what was the purpose for you going overseas then?
I mean, I was going over there to do a songwriting camp with the artist studio, and they basically scouted me a couple months ago and just asked if I wanted to go to Mexico and go and write some songs with some absolutely insane producers. Like, these producers were just some of like the most talented and the most connected people I've met. Like, I met some people, like I made a song with a guy that does stuff for BTS and Noah Cyrus, did stuff with a guy that does stuff with SZA, which is insane. Worked a lot with another guy who does who writes and does a lot of production for Kesha. You know who Kesha is? You wouldn't 100%. Everyone knows who Kesha is. It's the chick that sings I'll show you Kesha's like this one.
Just skip into it. Oh, I know that song. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, so he writes with and produces for Kesha, Katy Perry.
Oh wow, so lots of big names.
Yeah, legit. It was actually insane, and I got to have a chat, an A&R meeting with Imagine Dragons and Benson Boone's manager. Do you know who Benson Boone is? He's like blowing up at the moment, like big time. Anyway, but so
I know Benny the Butcher.
Who is that?
He's a rapper. He's mad.
Anyway, so yeah, I had a meeting with him, and then just some crazy stuff. Like, and so basically how it worked was every day. So there was, I think we were writing for 5 or 6 days, and every day there'd be 2 sessions a day.
Mm.
And so in every session, there was also 15 artists that went there and writers. So every single day, either you or a different artist would be assigned to one of like 6 producers in each session, and then 2 or 3, usually around 2 other artists would be assigned to these producers to top line for the artist that was.
What do you mean by top line?
So top line means like writing the song for the artist.
Oh, so the artist. Or
so you know how we talked about last. It's literally what we were talking about in the last podcast. It's exactly that. So we had
Do you get any input in your own song then?
Yeah. So we worked off what's called Nashville splits. So no matter how much or how little you write, you get an even split of the song. So the 3 songs that I made that are my songs over there, other people have like a 25% cut in on that.
Right.
And so like I wrote that and I was leading the session because it's my song, but then I had 3 other writers. And so actually in one of the sessions I wrote with a lady who writes with Dua Lipa and like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. Do you know any of them?
I know who Dua Lipa is.
Yeah. Panic at the Disco, you know that song High Hopes Were on Them?
Oh yeah.
You know that song? Yeah. Anyway. But she writes for like them, which is like crazy. And so she was in on one of the songs. It was the Next Time one, is that one. You know the one I showed you?
Yeah. I know the songs you showed me.
Yeah. It was that one she was writing in on. Anyway, so yeah, we did that. And I mean, it was so sick. Like the whole time, just the people were so connected. But it was really short sessions. Like each session was like 4 hours. So we had 4 hours to write and record a song.
That's short?
Yeah.
What is studio sessions like usually like then? To write just one song?
So just a writing session, sometimes 8 hours.
Oh wow! So you have to do the whole process in 4 hours.
It was an insane experience. I wrote some sick songs, got to work with some really cool people, and I'm pretty connected with a bunch of people from the States now, which is sick. So if I ever go back to LA, because when I went to LA, that was just...
So why did you even go to LA if your whole songwriting camp, the reason you went over there was in Mexico?
Well, originally there was stuff on in LA, but
Like what?
no, like
What was
that.
what was the original plan to go there?
There was a few different things. So the people that were taking me to Mexico, they said that there was stuff on in LA before, which there was, but I just didn't really message properly to ask them. I messaged the group chat, but I just don't think they saw it, or I don't know. Like, I think I messaged the artist group chat, not the organizers, which I should have just done, because he was like, "Oh, you should just message me." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." So it was fine. But then I was supposed to meet up with someone else there, which they just got stuck in Australia and weren't being able to come till mid-October. So yeah, a few things just fell through, which is fine. Like, I just did touristy stuff in LA, and I still like had like a couple meetings and had a few things to get sorted as well, and just had a look around, which was good, and met a few people. So that's why. But then that's kind of why I went to Indiana, because I just didn't. I mean, LA is so sketchy, bro. It's so like. No, there's nothing about LA that I'm like, this is so great. Like, they're actually the only appeal to LA that I find is it is really easy to make connections. So actually, the coolest thing that happened to me, this is a cool story. The coolest thing that happened to me in LA, was I just went to an American like a college football game, and then I went into Pasadena after, and I had to charge my phone because I wouldn't have been able to get home if I didn't charge my phone. So I found this little cafe that I went into. There was a girl that was playing guitar in there, and I was like, "Oh, can I just charge my phone?" And I'll sit and wait for a bit. And they're like, "Yeah, no worries." So my phone on the charger, and I'm watching this chick play guitar while I'm just sitting there. And then I was like, "Oh, I kind of want to play. I just want to play one song." So I've been watching for about 40 minutes, and I just thought, "Oh, let me just ask her." And so I finally found the right moment to ask her. I was like, "Oh, do you mind if I play just one song? Like, I promise I'm not bad. So let me play one song." She's like, "Yeah, no worries." So I get up, I play one song. I'm playing Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan, and in the first verse, Shia LaBeouf walked in, and I was shook. I was like, "Holy damn!" I was like, "That is that Shia LaBeouf?" Like, I couldn't, I genuinely, I don't get nervous about like performing like almost ever, but I just instantly, I was like, "Oh crap, man, I gotta like."
Bit of fanboy happening.
Yeah,
Fanboy
legit. I'm
going
like,
on.
man, I remember watching Transformers as a kid. I'm like, that's Shia LaBeouf.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I was stressing. I'm like, this is mad. This is sick. This is such like a LA thing that happened. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. So
Did you talk to him?
yeah, so then I finished playing the song, and I also feel bad for the chick too, because the one song that I asked her to play, Shia LaBeouf walked in while I was playing. I was like, tough. And so then after I got my phone, and he walked outside, I got my phone from the front, and then him and the owner, and then maybe one or two other people, were out the front talking in this little circle. And so then I walked out, and I said, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was such a great job. Like, you were really great. If you want to come back on Saturday, that'd be awesome. We'd love to have you play." And I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks so much." And then he was just like, "Yeah, that was really good, man. Really good job." And I was like, "Oh, thanks so much." And then I turned to the lady and I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me charge my phone as well." And as I'm saying that, he's just like, "Oh, excuse me 1 second." And I'm like, "No." And then he just like leaves. And
Tough.
I'm like, "No."
What's he like in real life? What's the vibe he gives in real
I
life?
mean, from like one or two sentences. Actually, when I was playing, someone leaned over to him and was like, "Oh, he's pretty good, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, he's good." Like I seen from like across the room that he did. I was like, "That's mint."
Come on.
But he seemed like nice. Seemed very like mellow, like melancholy. Not mellow. That's the wrong word. Melancholy.
What was melancholy?
Like just very like.
Sounds like a fruit, dude.
Let me look up the actual definition of melancholy. I'm pretty sure.
Sounds like a fruit cross a dog, dude.
Oh no. Melancholy's not the right word.
What's melancholy mean?
It means a bit sad.
Oh,
No, I think the right word is
cruisy, just cruisy.
no, yeah, just neutral. Like he just is very just present. I feel like he just is just like very in the moment, but not very. He's not very charismatic. Yeah, so that's kind of the
Which
vibe.
is crazy because he's an actor.
Yeah,
one
but
of
I
the
feel
best
like that
actors in
makes
the
sense though. It's like because he's been so many different things. He's just like just chill, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was crazy. And I was like, oh, I wanted to get a photo with him or like talk to him a bit more, ask him to come on the pod. I had a mic there in LA, so I could have whipped something up. Nah, he wouldn't have done it, but it was like, that was so sick. I was like, far out. That was unreal experience. I was like, that's crazy. I called you straight away. I was like, I can't believe this just happened. It was actually sick.
That's mad. What was it like traveling overseas by yourself for the first time? Nerves or not just cruisy? What was going through your head?
The traveling part of it's not like an issue. I think LA, but I feel like I don't have an issue traveling with myself, but I think in LA it was just so sketchy. I was staying on Venice Beach in a hostel on top of a nightclub, and I had all my gear with me, so I was a bit paranoid that my gear was going to get stolen at any point because I couldn't lock it anywhere. I just had to leave it in my room. I had my camera and my guitar, so I had and like all my clothes and stuff. So I had probably like 5 to 10 grand worth of gear, and so it's like,
Freaking out a little bit.
a little bit. I think I wasn't too stressed about like my life being in danger or anything like that. Although it was really sketchy. I was walking when I got there. I pulled up at about it was probably 11 o'clock at night when I got there out of the airport, and the music was blaring out of the nightclub, and I was like, this is gonna be the worst night's sleep ever. Anyway, and so I was so wrecked from the flight, but I was just instantly on high alert.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, homeless people, drug addicts everywhere, and this is on Venice Beach. Like this isn't even like a bad part of LA, but apparently it is now. Apparently after COVID, it just got shocking.
Yeah.
And so that was like confronting, not in like I just didn't expect it to be that bad. Like I'd heard stories of LA, oh yeah, it's not great, but it genuinely feels like there's parts of LA that feels like a third world country. And it's really sad. There's so many homeless people. And
the wild thing is all the homeless people have their Venmo and their Cash App, dude. I couldn't believe
yeah,
it.
there's some wild things in LA. I've seen some gangs and stuff stop cars in the middle of downtown LA. And the amount of people that told me to not take public transport, especially at night, was wild. Because Ubers in LA are like $70 to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like, one night after the college football game, that's when I was going to take the metro home. And I met someone there. I met a few people there, and they were like, and every single one of them were like, do not take the metro home tonight. And I was like, oh, but Ubers are so expensive. Like, they were like, do not take it home. If you value your life or anything that you've got on you right now, I'm telling you, do not take the metro home. And I was like,
it's another world, eh?
but she was like, I've lived in LA my whole life, never taken the metro once. I was like, that's crazy. She's like, I've taken it during the day, but not at night. Never.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
It's another world over there, eh?
It's crazy. Like LA is just something different. I think everywhere. I really don't like LA, but there is pockets of nice places. Like Beverly Hills, obviously, is like so nice, but there are like nicer places. Like Pasadena is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I didn't like West Hollywood. People like West Hollywood, but I didn't have a great look around there. But it was pretty gnarly. LA was crazy, and then I went to Indiana, cruised around there for a week, and then
What brought you to Indiana? What was in Indiana?
I just went to see my girlfriend's family. So
Nice, bro. And then from Indiana was back into Mexico?
yeah, I checked out Chicago on the way to Indiana as well because I flew into Chicago, and then checked that out, which is it's pretty good. I don't mind Chicago, you know.
Sick.
But yeah, I think Mexico was sick though. It was good.
So all up, how long was the trip?
About 3 weeks.
Did that feel long for you? Or did it just like go fast?
I think there was moments that felt long. Like, I think there were moments that felt long. Like, especially when I was just waiting around LA to do something. Because that's why I left LA. Because I was like, everything that I had planned here kind of just fell through. So I did all the touristy things, and I just don't enjoy that stuff that much. Like, I like it and I'll do it, but it's just, it's all right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of just was a bit bored at that point. And Yeah, but apart from that, like everything else went really quickly. Mexico went pretty quick. But yeah, it was good. It was a good trip.
Nice, man.
Tell us about your surgery.
Surgery was rough, dude. Well, I guess it was just surgery. So, well, a little bit of a backstory, because unlike the last podcast, I really didn't want to talk about it. But I'm a bit more open now, I guess, about it all. So what happened was I got a hernia, a left inguinal hernia, which is in your groin, and so that all happened. Got put back in France and stuff. So I flew home pretty much straight away to have a surgery. So I got home and I was waited for about a week before I had to go in for the actual surgery. But initially, the surgeon wasn't undecided, but it was there was a small discussion about whether I have a keyhole surgery or I have the full slit, like the full slice. It's about not 10, it's about 15 centimeters, 15 centimeters slit, like open surgery. And while we weighed up the pros and cons, and really it wasn't like a crazy pros and con list, it was more just a chance of so of whether it would re-rupture. But so what they actually went in and did, or were gonna go do, is they literally have this like human grade mesh. And the best way I could describe it is it literally looks like fly screen.
Really?
It's literally like, literally feels and looks exactly like fly screen. It's like if you just cut a little square out of your fly screen door and got it, it's like that's exactly what it looks like.
Far out.
So, and it was like a little patch, just a little patch. It just looks like a little square,
Yeah.
like that big sort of thing. And so if they do a keyhole, they pretty much do a few little incisions or something, and they get all the robot arms or technical stuff, and they roll it up and then push it in, and then they got it stitched up while everything's still inside. Or they cut the whole thing open through all the layers of skin into your abdominal wall, and they stitch and sew this mesh on the inside of your abdominal wall,
Yeah, right, okay.
because that's where the rupture is. So the hernia is your intestines or bowel or whatever it is falling out of this hole
Yeah.
in your abdominal wall, which is like all the muscles. So they stitched this thing, and so they ended up saying that because of what I do and all my racing and all that stuff, they said it's way less of a chance for it re-rupturing if they do the open surgery and go in and fully stitch it all in and around and like
Right.
are more teased with it. They just said it's more less of a chance that it would re-rupture if we did the open surgery. So I was like, right, sweet as open surgery it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, when got the whole slit, the 15 centimeter slice in my groin, and it was quick, man. I was in the hospital. Got to the hospital at 6 a.m. They prep you all up and for the surgery and stuff, and then I was out by mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
Out by mid-afternoon, and yeah, out by mid-afternoon, man. And it was pretty. I'm not gonna lie. The first 3 days was rough, man.
How so?
It was rough. Well, when I first got the hernia, it hurt heaps, like worse than any broken bone by far
Yeah.
ever. And Duran will contest to it, because Duran, actually, who was staying with Europe, had to carry me into the van and carried me into the hospital like a savior, just carrying me because I couldn't even walk. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But no, so I had the surgery, and then the first 3 days was horrible, because after the anesthesia wore off, it was the pain was probably just as bad as when the actual hernia was out.
Right.
Because you just got a cut pretty much as deep as you could go, 15 centimeters long,
Yeah.
through every part of your body. And it was more, I kind of was stubborn and prideful, which was probably one of my biggest mistakes, because we got painkillers, like pretty heavy opioids. I can't remember. I think Plexia. We got Plexia.
Yeah.
And I've always been in my own head. It's like, whenever I've had an injury like this, oh, not like this, whenever I've had an injury, like a broken bone or something, I've always been like, this was my mistake, my crash. I need to go through the pain to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never have wanted to take painkillers. And I haven't really vouched for painkillers either. Like, I'm not a big fan of taking them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if anyone else takes them or not. It's just, for me, I really don't like taking them. Same with medicine, because I'm like, well, it's not dealing with the root problem. It's just stopping a symptom.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd rather go through it and say I went through it in its entirety and I came through it the other side.
Yeah.
So I was going into this with the exact same mentality. So after all the anesthesia wore off, it was so bad. Like, I couldn't move. I was on my back and stuff completely, and I had to go to the toilet, and it hurt to piss for 3 days. I couldn't even shower
That's
for 3 days because I
crazy.
couldn't even sit down. So I got a shower chair, but I couldn't use it for 3 days because I couldn't even do this. I couldn't sit down like this, like how I'm sitting now. But it was, so I tried to get up off the lounge, and they got given this towel. You pretty much just hold your guts in because they're just so sore. You just hold pressure on it. It was ridiculous.
That's wild.
And I got up, and Mum was helping me, and I was in a lot of pain. And my body, when I first got up, because I was lying there, I was tolerating it, but it was the worst. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got up, and it's like you're moving, you're starting to move, and you realize when you have an abdominal surgery, how much any movement actually uses your abs.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hadn't taken a single painkiller, and it's that night, and mum and dad helped me to the toilet, and I'm just getting so lightheaded. My body's starting to shake from all the pain. Like, I started going into shock. Like, my body started going into shock.
Wild.
Because just the pain, which is what painkillers help with, so you can actually heal faster.
Yeah.
Because it does relax your body. But because especially opioids are so easily abused, so you do have to be careful. But they also do have their place can actually be super helpful. So anyway, so it got to that point where mum was not freaking out. They weren't freaking out, but I was also pretty out of it.
Your
And-
mum was freaking out because Brie went to your house to drop you some food, and then she called me and she was like, "Laura's freaking out." Josh's body went into shock tonight.
Yeah, so I was starting to go into shock, and I guess they didn't know what to do, whether to call like ambulance or whatever. I just said I'll ride it out, because when you go into shock, I don't actually know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's your, like, adrenaline gets spiked and it just opens up all your blood vessels, which I guess your heart rate spikes, a bunch of things, but you get super dizzy. So I'm assuming your blood pressure drops, but your heart rate goes up, and your just adrenaline's pumping. So you get super dizzy, and I don't know where all the shaking comes from. Maybe it's increased heart rate. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything, because I was starting to go like,
Yeah.
real crazy. And mum's like, just take one. And I'm being stubborn, like, no, I'm not taking one. And it got so bad where I just had to take one. So I took one, but these things, they don't kick in for like an hour or an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
And mum didn't know that. She was panicking. I didn't know that, 'cause I was like, these things. So she gives me one pill, popped one pill. And I'm like, oh, when is it going to kick in? Because I'm still in a lot of pain, like proper. But they also, these things, because it relaxes your body so much, it also relaxes all the muscles in your throat. So it slows down your breathing so much. It's really hard to breathe. It's like, it's not hard to breathe. You just have one, and it's normal. You just have that little shortness of breath. So it's like, I can take a deep breath now, and I feel like I took a deep breath.
Yeah.
But if I took a deep breath on the plexia, it's like I take a deep breath, but it felt like I hadn't taken a deep breath. There was almost like a lack of oxygen. So anyway, mum was freaking out. I'm like, she just gives me another one, she's like Panadol. So like, I just pop another one, like all within the space of half an hour, because I'm like, it's not doing anything. Anyway, I'm just there lying on my bed, and I start feeling like I can't really breathe either. Like the shortness of breath was like kind of gnarly. So I'm there like, and I'm like, my body's come out of shock. Like, I can see, hear things. I'm not really shaking now. I'm all good, but I'm still in pain, but it's just hard to breathe. So that whole night I was like just trying to breathe.
Yeah.
Like properly the whole
That's
night.
crazy.
And it was pretty wild. But then the next day we were like, oh, a bit more level. Everyone was a bit more level headed, and we're like, we'll just do one, read it, do exactly what it says. Because as
Yeah.
soon as Mum took two, she was freaking out because she just watched the Painkiller documentary
Oh yeah.
about the opioid
Yeah,
crisis. So
yeah.
she was freaking out. She's like, I think I've overdosed my son. I'm gonna kill him. Like she was freaking out.
Classic.
But it was okay. So then but then it was the biggest lesson was because I guess I wouldn't have really known it until this happened. And I don't know whether I was being taught a lesson with all my injuries and it finally learned my lesson now. That's probably why it kept happening. But I don't really know, but I think I was just so prideful in my own self of like how tough I am. I don't need no one. I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I was like, I don't take painkillers because like I'm not weak. Like I'm tough. I need to learn all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just egotistical,
Yeah.
but towards myself, about myself. So it was just demoralizing because there was the first 3 days I couldn't even walk. Like I had to, I'm stuck on my back. Like I had to literally, mum or dad would literally have to roll me over in bed just to change of position because my back was starting to hurt so much from not being moved.
Yeah.
So like getting rolled over in bed and then pillows supporting every part of your body. And it got to a point where in the middle of the night where you had to pee so bad because you haven't peed that day. And you have to mum has to roll you over and you pee into a bucket because you still can't even get up out of your own bed. It's like the most demoralizing thing. And you can't have any pride because otherwise you go in the shock and end up back in hospital.
Yeah.
So
That's a lesson.
that was the thing. It was like I just had to let go and accept help from people because that's one thing as well. I never accepted help.
I'm the same. I think that I kind of can tie that into like when I was overseas. I'm thankful that it worked out, but I know I didn't have enough money when I was overseas to like stay an extra week in LA. Thank the Lord I got paid from the Dubai thing. I got paid back, which was crazy. But I think so I don't know if I've learned my lesson yet either. But I really struggle with not accepting help either. I don't want I don't like accepting money from anyone. I just like to I think there's certain things that I'd be happy to accept help with, but I think especially when it comes to money or that kind of thing, or like I would have gone homeless than not. Like I would have just lied on the street.
It's just stubbornness.
Yeah.
Yes.
The pride.
Pride and stubbornness.
And I think it's
kill
just
ya.
something that, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm still on a journey of it. I think obviously no one can be perfectly humble, I guess, but
For sure.
yeah, but definitely, I think it's definitely a good lesson to learn it. Like, there's not a lot of great things you can take away from your surgery, but I think that's definitely one of them that you can be like, yeah, you know what, I learned the lesson of I've just got to set my pride aside and come with humility.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I always learned lessons the hard way, so it was like hard. And then, and then I also had to take laxatives because I couldn't even force out a poo.
Oh, yeah.
Because you couldn't even poo. So by the time after the 3 days where I was starting to still get help to the toilet and still get helped onto the toilet, but I could sit down.
Yeah.
Or maybe, but it was still so tender. But I wouldn't be able to chuck a dump. I wouldn't be able to, at a normal poo level, you don't know, but you push a little bit. You don't know. But I couldn't do that at all. So it's pretty much just had to have runny dumps.
Yeah. That's grim.
But no, it was legit.
Yeah, that's what it's got to
But
be.
also getting helped in and out of the shower. I didn't need help showering myself, but I needed help getting on the chair and out of the chair. So much stuff. But it was also hurt so much to laugh.
Yeah.
So the 3 days were the worst, and the first week was still pretty bad. But then you start improving, seeing drastic improvements. Well, at least I did anyway. So after the first 3 days, I started noticing big improvements each day.
Yeah.
So it's been nearly 3 weeks now since my surgery, and I can walk. I still can't really exercise or run and stuff, but I can walk around and I can drive and stuff. So it's super good being able to at least get out and outside for a little bit and or drive or go see someone. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. And so now you've got you're getting back into the business world.
A little bit, yeah. But no, I am. So I'm starting back work and stuff, but it's pretty good. Soon, make a bit of money and start funding myself again. But no, it just came. Oh, so as I was saying, laughing, man, was the worst.
Oh yeah.
Laughing, sneezing, coughing would nearly put me in tears. Actually, it would probably put me in tears. Like, not so much laughing, coughing, because it's a one-time thing and it just puts you on your ass. But laughing and trying not to laugh, I think was some of the worst pains.
Really?
Because it just pulls on all the stitches inside your guts and all the stuff. It was horrible. And I remember watching just a freaking movie, and it was like something not even funny, but it was just so funny. You find everything funny when you can't laugh.
Yeah.
And they say laughter is the best medicine, but it was not the best medicine. It was horrible. And Dad would laugh, like come in and crack a joke, and I just find it funny. And then I'd be like telling him, oh, like fuck off. I'm like, fuck off, Dad, this hurts.
Yeah.
Like, just like swearing at him to go away, and he's laughing. And then yeah, there's a bunch of things. And then Mum would like tell Dad stop making me laugh, and I found that so funny. Like Mum and Dad going off and Dad laugh. Oh, it was hilarious, but it was so painful to laugh. Oh, but yeah, this movie is what set it off. I can't remember what movie it was, but they were in like a deposition, and they were talking about this chicken that he was carrying around for some reason to be in some club, and he hadn't fed it for a few days, and he was in like a KFC, and he was feeding his chicken, and I found it just the funniest thing for absolutely no reason. And I was just like, had to turn it off because I was like, trying to like breathe and like, you'd learn how to like stop yourself from sneezing.
Yeah.
Like everything, because it's just the worst. So that's right. You improve pretty quick though. It's just that first 3 days is the worst. The week's pretty bad. The first 2 weeks you can't really leave the house. You can maybe take yourself to the toilet, and then each day gets better. So by the end of the second week, you're walking around and stuff.
How long ago was the surgery?
About
3 weeks ago.
4 weeks on Thursday.
Oh damn. Oh yeah, it was like the day before I went to LA.
Yeah, so this Thursday will be the 4 week mark.
Damn, it didn't feel like that long ago.
No, it was pretty ruthless. So that's sort of me now.
Damn. Yeah, I think I don't want to drag this on any much longer because I feel like we'd just be waffling otherwise. We've finally got some guests booked in. Got some more interesting pods coming out. Really cool one that we're doing Thursday.
Yeah, the really cool one we're doing Thursday. Like, I'm really excited for. So
yeah, it'll be good.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, next episode should be good. A few more guests to come out because I don't enjoy these ones of just us two as much. We've had some like all right stuff to talk about, at least stuff that we can cut up into reels to put in our Instagrams. But I feel like that's like the most value for us. But then I don't think it's that valuable for you guys either. It's just really an update kind of thing. But
so valuable for you will definitely be the next one because it's going to be a hell of a one, and I'm really excited to start talking to guests again.
Yeah, because I think it just brings so much more value, and that's what I want to do. And I like talking to people that like I know all this stuff, and you know all the stuff that like I've just said. So it's like I think the reactions are better when we hear stuff from other people, and I think like I said, brings way more value and way more interesting.
Yeah.
So
that being said, if you got this far, cheer, bro, for listening.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
I actually don't know how many people. I think our retention's pretty crap, but it's alright.
I don't look at the numbers, dude. I enjoy doing them. So
yeah, I don't really look at them. I actually have no idea what our retention is. It could be good, but I'm pretty sure it's bad. That's just I'm pretty sure it's bad.
She'll buff.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Or just do what you want. Don't have to do what he says. Do what you want to do.
Yeah,
Laters,
we
guys.
need that retention up.
And you ain't gonna get it by saying like and subscribe.
Do it. Get the.
All right, ladies, everyone.
See ya.
Have a good day, or night, or evening. Good morning, or whenever you listen to it.
Maybe some people wake up to.
Before the blow
yeah,
up.
you know, like how you can set Alexa, wake me up to the latest before the blow up episode. Anyway, appreciate it. Talk to yous.
Laters.
Mint.
How's long?